At the risk of hurting my watch numbers, I want to say, honestly, if you're a beginner in art, I don't think you should be listening to people like me. A YouTuber who's giving out advice and talking about how to draw, though I try to do as little of that as possible around here. I think you should listen to teachers later, but not when you're a true beginner. What's a true beginner? A little hard to say, but maybe someone who started drawing in the past year. I sometimes get emails from people who started drawing a couple of months ago, asking me if they should take something like my course. And I say, hell no, you should be in your sketchbook, practicing drawing happily, without a care in the world. The first priority of someone at the beginning of the journey is to establish a wholesome, simple love for their materials and for the process of sitting and drawing. Thoughts about how to do it properly can only interrupt this. This is very important and isn't something me or my peers here on YouTube tend to talk much about. That's for several reasons, the most obvious one being that we can't help with it directly. There's nothing to critique, nothing to influence. It's all about you. There's another reason, though, and this one's tricky. A lot of teachers don't recognize the need for such a period because they assume that everyone has already had it, usually in their childhood. Almost invariably, the teacher has had this experience and takes it for granted that everyone they teach is enjoying what they do inherently, even when they're working very hard to improve. They don't realize that the happy, structureless time that creates this foundation is actually being skipped and is vanishing in our culture. And I hate to say it, but it's people like me and my friends who are to blame. If you're around my age, 34, you might be shocked to hear this, but in the current era, there are young people who the day they discover that they like drawing for the first time, go to YouTube and search how to draw and get 1,032 Proco videos. Let that sink in. Just a few joyful minutes between realizing you like drawing and realizing you're doing it suboptimally. What kind of impact do you think that might have on someone's connection with the inherent joy of their practice? I started drawing joyfully and constantly when I was 5 years old, and I didn't realize there were methods for improving at drawing, things as foundational as learning anatomy, until I was about 14. That's 9 years, pre-YouTube, pre-social media, where drawing and I just got to be best friends and cement our relationship. In those years, I didn't even wonder what else was out there. It never even occurred to me to keep up with what other artists were doing or what other rates of improvement were possible. I just drew and tried to figure things out myself. Does that sound like maybe it was important? It was. It shaped my identity, and all of my artistic problem solving today is still built on that independent foundation. If you've never had a period like this, if you haven't had a long time of just enjoying the mushy, joyful contact with drawing, you should gift one to yourself. It will help you survive your more structured practice later on because you'll have a touchstone for pure fun, which you should never give up on. But to do this, you have to stop listening to people like me for a while. Now remember, I'm not saying this content is bad. Obviously, I don't think I make bad content. Proco is not bad, Lavender Town is not bad, Draw Like a Sir is not bad. No, obviously, all content is good content. And even the most banal YouTube video is better than sitting with the screaming void of your internality for even a moment. But, just for a little while, just for a little bit, it's okay to disconnect from all this stuff. It's not a criticism on the content itself. It's an acknowledgement that most artists need time to make contact with what's coming up from inside of them and renounce the things of the world for a while so that they can feel what they personally need and what they believe about art. I still go through cyclical periods where I disconnect like this. I basically stop looking at art or listening to anything about it. I take social media apps off my phone so that I can just forget what everyone is up to. Joy of missing out. I recently went through my YouTube subscriptions and unsubscribed from every single channel, with the one exception that if I knew the content creator personally, if they were a real human being to me and not pixels on a screen, I would keep the sub. And it worked. It worked great. Because it's only my personal friends, I'm suddenly totally uninterested in YouTube. And if you're interested in doing something similar, and if you don't know me personally, I want you to know that yes, it's okay for you to unsubscribe from my channel in pursuit of your own internal artistic voice. This is the opposite of the usual, I'm asking you to subscribe. If you need it for your art practice, I'm begging you, go hit unsubscribe. Seriously, don't feel bad about this. You might have some anxious thing in the back of your head where you worry that if you're not taking in all this chatter about new techniques and how to think about art, that you're sort of not taking drawing seriously. Or you may feel that you're so behind and there's so much info out there sitting in videos that you just really need to do your duty and listen to every video you can so that you can collect all the tips like Pokemon and catch up. Look, there is a bunch to learn in videos and in books and what other people have to say, but, and I hate to tell you this, just drawing, even if it's not in the optimal way, is taking drawing more seriously than watching a video about it. Always. Pencil to paper, direct contact with the practice is always more valuable than conceptualizations and theories about it. I generally recommend cutting out all of the chatter that's pulling you in a million directions. Get everyone else out of your head for a while. No one, myself included, has anything more important or profound to teach you in art than what's going to come up from inside anyway. That's what art is about. It's about what's personal to you. So do whatever it takes to foreground drawing in the drawing practice. Not analyzing it, not talking about it, not worrying about it, not optimizing it, not comparing it to how others are doing. Don't do any of that stuff unless the foundation is habitual, joyful drawing. You might be amazed how easy it is to stabilize enjoyment when it's not getting constantly buffeted by the changing winds of comparison. If you can do that, if you can pull that off, then you won't need me or anyone else to tell you to enjoy the hell out of it. I hope you liked that talk. If you enjoyed it, please consider supporting the channel. The easiest way is just to tell people about this channel or share a video if it helped you. It doesn't have to be this one, share an old one. You heard everything I just discussed. The stuff I talk about here on this channel is by definition never going to go mainstream. It's not ever going to be viral. This is not the kind of stuff that YouTube pushes. The only way this channel grows is through word of mouth. So if you share, I would greatly appreciate it. If you want to support even more, consider joining the Patreon, which is linked in the description. You join there and you'll get access to the Discord community, which is awesome. You also get a backlog of Patreon-only chats and Q&As, plus a bunch of sketches that I didn't post anywhere else because AI. And if you're really a psycho and want to heavily support while getting some instruction, consider getting my course or taking a workshop sometime. Again, thanks for watching and happy drawing.